companies that typically advertise a certain way or they reach their customer a certain way, knowing that, okay, we have to shift. We have to do something different, wanting to bring their old style along with it or not wanting to really commit to it, just kind of test it. And I feel like sometimes if you don't jump in, you don't get the same impact.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ecom Growth Show.
Let's go.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ecom Growth Show. Super excited today. We have Jerhad Thompson with us of Triton Commerce. So welcome to the show, Jerhad. We're excited to have you, man.
Yeah, guys. Thanks for having me. I actually saw an ad, one of your guys' Facebook ads. That's really how I first saw you guys. So.
Dude, we never know to be like... cringe if we should cringe when we hear that or if that's a good thing, because like we have a lot of different ads and there's some that have gone out for like small split tests that are like, you know, we probably wouldn't want the whole world seeing, but we tested them out anyways. Which ad did you see?
It was one where you were at a desk and then you came in and were like doing one of like talking like this, and then another guy comes in and wipes.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, I think that thing in a while.
Yeah, so the thing that caught me on it though is your quality, and that's what I love about all your stuff on your website and everything. The video quality is high. It comes through really clear. So I don't know. For me, that's what caught my eye, because my Facebook is like personal thing, company's Facebook ad, personal thing, digital marketing Facebook ad. Totally. So I just like, it's just so fast, but yours caught my eye. I think it was really just the clarity. So I don't know.
Sweet, dude. Well, that's a huge shout out to Joko behind the camera over there. He's giving us a thumbs up. Well, cool, man. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about your personal life, some more about the work you do and why you do what you do.
Right. Personal life. Well, I've been a lifelong entrepreneur. I started my first website in 1996, which is before probably most of the people listening's parents had a cell phone. So I started, I don't even know how old you guys are, probably before you had, any type of device or anything like that. But anyway, so it was a long time ago. Built my first website then, and I just kind of stuck around in the industry. I loved it. I love that I get really bored with things quickly. And so this was a challenge, because it never stopped changing. Even back then when it seemed like things changed really slow, there was a lot to learn because everything was new. And then it continued to change. So I've been a lifelong entrepreneur as far as online selling goes. I've got a wife, 4 kids. So if I'm not doing stuff trying to learn digital marketing, I'm hanging out with them. That's a big
part of your life.
Investment. Yeah, right. That's awesome. I love it.
You're the first guest that has had as many kids as Rob has.
Yeah, I have 4 as well. It's rare though. It's rare in entrepreneurial circles, you know.
It is.
And it's cool to see when people can do both and can do both excellently, because you know they both require so much time and attention. So the only way you can do both excellently is through like just a lot of diligence and, you know, carefully budgeting your time and your focus, for sure.
Yeah, that's it. It doesn't happen by accident. You know. So my work. So right now I work with Triton Commerce, and they're a digital marketing agency, and I focus primarily on the paid ads. So when we onboard a new company, or if I see opportunity with companies that we're working with, where I think doing a paid ad on this platform or over here might benefit them. So that's where I come into play. Nice. Why I do what I do, man, I don't know why I do what I do. I think it just sort of was by default. Like I say, when I was in 96, I was 16, started a website, and that was just, I really like it. I like, again, just the change. I do love now at this point, 25 years into it, I love to help people kind of go through that same journey. I was on TikTok last night and just kind of watching and feeling it out. I haven't done a whole lot as far as ads go on TikTok yet, but I'm seeing it age up, and so I'm on there and I'm just feeling out what kind of content gets organic reach. And but there's right now the affiliate marketing is like taking that place by whatever. And so, but people aren't doing anything there. I don't know if you're familiar with TikTok, just kind of like it's one of the styles is a lot of words. They just put up words and people point to the words and you read them. And this kid's just doing like affiliate marketing, buy my $7 course, do this. And then he points. And so I engaged with him and ended up going on he did a live and then I did a live and we ended up talking to each other. And he said he's made in the last month $5,000 and he hasn't really said a word. He's just, he's just pointing and people he's selling his $7 affiliate marketing thing, so other people will go sell the $7 affiliate marketing on how to become an affiliate marketer.
That's pretty crazy.
But anyways, yeah. So, but I love engaging. It's I don't know how old he was, probably between 16 and 18, in his home, his bedroom at home, just trying to figure it out. So to have a one-on-one conversation with him was really interesting to see that this young generation that I think sometimes gets written off in certain aspects, to just see that there are people out there really trying to make it work. So yeah, for sure. And our focus is always like on the e-commerce side, and my understanding is that over there at Triton, you guys are working with a wide variety of different clients in the digital marketing space. But it's interesting. I think it's so helpful to watch some of those trends and see what some of the younger people are doing, because I think naturally that will eventually get adopted into the e-commerce industry as well. And so my gears are already turning, like, what if we tried some TikTok type creative in our e-commerce funnels where it's like, this is my product, this is how much it costs, free shipping, whatever, and just try a format that's familiar with this younger generation and split test it. What's your favorite place to run paid ads right now? It really depends on what we're trying to do, but so with Triton, we're servicing primarily small to medium-sized service industry businesses. So maybe like a chiropractor, a dentist, a roofer, any type of home services. So there I find that their audience is primarily on Facebook. Yeah. So that's where we primarily stay. And Google. You know what? I shouldn't say that. We probably spend more money on Google search terms. So we do some of both, but I like to try and bring in other platforms when it's possible. And I'm digging hard to try and find somebody that would work well on TikTok, but it's their money, so I'm not gonna just something that I listened to a couple of your guys' podcasts too, and you talk about integrity, and that's something that I really have too, that you have to have it, because people talk in this industry, in any industry, and so I don't want to just throw people into TikTok because I want to see if it works. You got to have a plan and a strategy. We're trying to come up with one internally here, though, just even thinking about it, like, what can we do? Because, man, the reach there is, a year and a half ago, I put my first TikTok on there, and I think at this point it's at like 2.5 million views, 100,000 likes. Wow. And it's nonsense, the video. So totally. If you had some thought behind it, there's the reach there it's crazy. It's massive potential. I was talking to someone that was doing TikTok for like a salon or something, a local brick and mortar, and they built up their following like really quickly over a few months. And the targeting wasn't the best for like bringing in customers, because it was local, and they said you couldn't get super specific with the area code targeting, like we can with Facebook and Instagram. But he said just the organic reach itself kind of drew in a lot of the locals and kind of created a whole buzz around the salon. So I thought that was pretty sick. Did you happen to see some of like what the ad creative is, or I guess not even necessarily ad creative, just creative in general? I didn't see it, but I think it was like a lot of like how-tos maybe. Okay. But I don't know, man. TikTok's just, I've seen some pretty random ads on there. They're like engaging and funny, and then it's like the most random call to action. Right. Right. Yeah, the people who are running ads on there, I think, are doing a really great job. You don't know. They use the age demographic to be on screen, and half the time I don't know that I'm swiping up and I realize, oh, that was FanDuel or whatever it is. Yeah, and it looks like all the other trending TikTok videos, it's like one of the same, but you're like, oh, this is actually an ad. It's pretty cool. Yeah, they're relevant. They're doing it in a relevant way. So yeah, exactly.
So what are some of the biggest mistakes you see being made just in digital marketing in general, in the online space? And you've been doing this a long time, building websites when a lot of people didn't even have websites. So I'm guessing you have some like common mistakes you've come across.
Yeah, there's probably a ton I could get specific on, but I think the one, and it's one that's always been, and I think probably always will be, it is particularly as a digital marketing company, but in general, digital marketing, unwillingness to change, just like we're talking about TikTok. And for companies that typically advertise a certain way, or they reach their customer a certain way, knowing that, okay, we have to shift, we have to do something different, and then wanting to bring their old style along with it, or not wanting to really commit to it, just kind of test it. And I feel like sometimes if you don't jump in, you don't get the same impact if you don't really want to go there. So that's one of the biggest mistakes I've seen, is companies holding back on coming into the even digital age. Some companies just don't want to have anything to do with a website or Google reviews, or even setting up a Google My Business. And I don't know if I'm happy about that or sad, because as somebody who's in a marketing agency, I think, well, I won't have to worry about competing with them soon. So
right. Totally.
If they're a salon and they're not willing to adjust, well, I'm not gonna have to worry about them long.
Dude, that's so funny you say that, because we literally just recorded one episode on change, and how to not be fearful of that, but to use that for your own growth. And then it went so well, and we feel like we opened a whole can of worms that we did a second episode on it. So definitely feel like we're seeing the same thing, because we just did 2 back-to-back episodes. I don't know if they've been aired yet, but just on embracing change, using it for growth, and using it to get a leg up in the competition. And like you said, for guys like us, or for people who are staying on top of it, it is an opportunity to stay ahead.
Yeah. Could you give us a specific example of someone that wasn't necessarily willing to change, and what you mean by kind of stuck in the old ways of doing things, compared to how you guys would advise them to go?
Yeah, I've got an example here. I don't know if I can use this or not. We might have to cut it out.
You don't have to use their name or anything specifically.
Yeah, I won't use. So we have a company that we work with that runs a ski resort, and they're getting into the ski season and kind of debating, should we put up, they wanted to reach out. They're on the border of like Michigan and Wisconsin. And so they wanted to reach Milwaukee, Chicago, Madison kind of areas. And so they were debating, to put some billboards up, or should we do digital advertising? And so we built their website and managed some other things for them. And so obviously we were on the side of, let's do this digitally.
Totally.
So they decided to do both. They gave half the ad spend to billboards and half to us. And we're well into that season now, the ski season, snowboarding. And I think, I don't know how long, maybe a month and a half, 2 months in, they called us and said that they were booked up, filled, ran out of food over the weekend, had to shut down their eating place. And the owner was like, I had to get out of my place and I rented it out. So they were so busy, and he said, so they started asking people, how'd you hear about us? And he said it was 20-1 digital. He said they hardly anybody mentioned a billboard.
What a great test, though. What a great test.
Yeah.
Now you can show people that.
Right. So now as we move into their golf season, I think the billboards are coming down and the ad spends
coming
to be
up.
adjusted. Yeah.
Totally.
So that's when, at least they were willing to attempt to put some of the ad spend towards it.
Yeah.
And now they know.
Yeah.
So.
Dang, that's a great example, dude. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
What about some things that you see people doing well that others should learn from?
Yeah. And specifically in our industry, but I think it's happening all over, is this kind of stuff. Sharing. We're still, and we focus more on service industry. I know you guys are e-commerce. I've been in e-commerce 25 years up till this point, and we still do e-commerce, but not the main focus. but working with your competitors and sharing openly things that are really working for you. I love that. I always think there's enough customers. I'm never worried about that. There's enough customers, and if you're really putting into practice the things that you learn and the things that you talk about, I think you're going to be okay. So that's one thing I see people doing really well. It's not specific, but it's something that people I think are coming into this. We're not all enemies. We're sort of working against each other, but we can still have a common ground to help each other. And I think by doing that, we move forward faster. And as marketers, I don't know what that means. If that means we destroy industries faster. When marketers get involved, we destroy everything so quickly. So.
Right. That's funny. We came from the commercial fishing realm. I don't know if you saw any of those early episodes where we talk about our story, but in the commercial fishing side of things, everything's so cutthroat. No one's really helping each other out. It's like a pretty cutthroat industry where you're out to catch your own fish. I mean, there is small groups sometimes, but even in those small groups, it's very competitive. You're not sharing necessarily all the secrets. So when we stepped into digital marketing, I was so pleasantly surprised by like how nice and welcoming everyone was, willing to share tips and tricks, how to get clients, how to get results for them. So I 100% agree with what you're saying, and we try to surround ourselves with other agency owners where we can always be bouncing ideas off of each other. What's working, what's not, how can we help people better? So super good. And is there anything specific that you guys do to kind of foster that, or connections you try to maintain to do that well?
I personally do. I've been with Triton for about 2 months now. But personally, I definitely do. I've been doing this for quite a long time, and so I've met a lot of people that are in this industry. So I guess I don't have like set up meetings, but I end up talking to people in the industry regularly, or saying, hey, when TikTok came out, what's your opinions on this? Are you guys jumping in, or where are you at? So just kind of feeling it out. And then, when one of these companies has a big success, they'll reach out and they'll say, hey, look, this is what we just tried. Just, you can take it or leave it, but this is what we tried and this is what happened. So that's really helpful.
Yeah, that is super helpful. And I love just being able to, like you said, that story you shared of this resort, just that simple split test between billboards and putting spend in digital, like those stories actually really help guide a lot of people. And so now there's probably several other resorts that can hear that story and not make that same mistake. It'd save a lot of money. So that's super, super cool.
Yeah. It's just getting it out there and telling them that. And getting them to believe it.
So you got a tip for us towards growing in this online world?
Yeah, I've got two, because the first one's super boring.
Boring is good though. Boring makes a difference.
Yeah. So here's the tip. It's documenting from the beginning, especially if you're starting out. It's documenting your processes and how you do them. It doesn't sound fun, and that's because it's not. But what happens is when you do start growing and you start having successes, and you're starting to hire 5, 10, 20 people a month, and all of a sudden your attention's getting distracted from what you're good at doing, and now you're trying to onboard all these people. But if you have these procedures in place where I learned this from Ezra Firestone, smart marketer, and it was like the most boring thing. Is like, why are you teaching me this, man? But it has helped tremendously. So he basically would record it, if it's your Facebook ads person. So you record, this is how we make a Facebook ad. And then you have, you pay somebody to cut it up into a document. That way, when you hire somebody to run your Facebook ads and they wonder, well, how are we doing this? So the first time you show them, the next time you have them do it with you, and the third time they do it. And really, they've got a video and a document. It's so much faster to let them go, and they can be on their own if you've documented all these processes. And it comes in handy too if you're looking to sell your company, to have all these processes in place. That's incredible value to somebody who's coming in to buy. They can see exactly how you're doing what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Dude, that's such a good tip. I hope everyone's taking that one seriously, because when you're starting out and just getting things going, the last thing you want to do is take the extra time to document and record.
Right.
When you're so busy with all these other things, but it makes your growth so much quicker and easier, and hiring and onboarding trainings, all that just so seamless. And makes scaling actually a lot faster if you just take the time to do that in the beginning. So that's awesome.
I would almost go as far as to say it's the difference between your business serving you and you serving your business. I feel like it really empowers you to actually build a machine that has momentum and can eventually start to drive itself.
Yeah.
With the right people in place, of course.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you think you don't have time to do it now, just wait till you start really having success.
Totally.
Then it's too late.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. So the other tip, and again, it's not really going to make anybody direct money, but I think it's important to know, and that's to really understand the value of somebody's opinion, which can be really, it's a kind of a parallel. Opinion can be really valuable or really worthless, and so to be able to take that in and look at something through the direction of where you're going and where you're headed, and to be able to discard opinions or really hang on to them, kind of regardless of who they're coming from. So that's something that's really served me well from when I was a little kid, and trying to start a business and getting rejected and soon learning that, you know what, that's okay. There are several billion people left to ask. So just taking that kind of people's opinions with a grain of sand.
Yeah, 100%. It reminds me of a quote, and the quote is, people are actually different. They're not just defective versions of yourself. And I feel like so often we view somebody's opinion, we view ourselves as the standard, and we measure their opinion against our standard of ourselves.
Yeah.
And so when you can kind of like break that idea, you can actually value their opinion for a totally different thing than that's outside of you, with its own strengths and weaknesses. And, like you said, give it the true weight it deserves, whether that's good or bad. But again, you do have to have a lot of clarity too on like what to take to heart and what to flush down the toilet at the same time, because there's a lot of opinions out there.
Right. That's it.
Well, sweet, Jerhad. Thanks so much, dude, for joining us today and all the value you brought. We really appreciate your time. Where can people go to learn more about you guys and kind of what you're doing?
Yeah, so tritoncommerce.com. And it's great timing because we just launched a new website last week. So
nice. Yeah, I was just checking it out. Yeah. You guys have a really sharp site.
Yeah, I think we cut down the words on our site by half or something. Nice, something like that. Stuff. Finding out people don't read it anyway. So
cool.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen of the Ecom Growth Show, if you guys like what you heard, if this provided any value to you, go ahead and do a 5-star review. Give us your thoughts, your feedback, and share this with somebody so the word can get out there. And if this is helpful to you, it'll be helpful to someone else. And that's the only way this grows, is through you guys sharing and liking and reviewing and all of that. So until next time, we will see you guys later.